lot of crazy stuff this week. Everyone's happy it wasn't a hate crime and that you were not targeted. But take me through how this all unfolded. So one of your team members, African-American guy, noticed the rope hanging down that looks like a noose. He contacts Nascar. NASCAR contacts you, and they launch an FBI investigation. Is that how it went down?
Yeah, gist of it. David Crops, my team member there, I talked to him numerous amounts of times since the incident, and he said before he overreacted, he did his research and walked up and down the garages to double check to make sure that it wasn't just the symbol that was throughout every garage, but it ended up being just only ours. So he eventually contacted the crew chief, talked to the FBI twice, once after the race, saying that they were going to do everything in their power to continue the investigation and figure out what's going on. And then Tuesday afternoon, they called me again and said that they concluded their investigation, found that it was found to be there since 2019. The news was founded there since 2019, and that I was not the target of a hate crime, which, like you said, is a great thing. My family was not targeted, but in fact, it was a noose, not a working noose, as they say, but it was a noose. Now that the photos are now being released to the public for them to see, it just shows, what I was talking about was factual, and kind of move on from it now.
So none of the other garage pulls were shaped or tied like a noose knot. And this was only on your garage, and as an African American, anytime you see a knot like this, a noose like this, you immediately think this is not good, obviously. So your African American team member, he saw it, he reported it the same way, just as you would see it that way, and now we know that it was not an intentional hate crime. Is there any doubt in your mind that this wasn't what it was supposed to be?
No, there's no doubt. I didn't necessarily think that somebody in our community would do that. Did I think a track worker possibly? Yes. But kind of getting to the bottom of it, somebody had tied this, whether it was a bad joke or whatever they thought, whatever their intent may have been. It wasn't to attack me or scare me. It was simply something that just coincidentally happened to be in my garage for the next race. They said it swept through
right. So you're saying,
track.
Right. So you're saying that someone may have tied this as a bad joke, or they may have just tied this knot, this noose, as a way to practically pull down the garage door. Is that what you're saying? It could have been as innocent as that.
Just said we don't know what their intent was, but yeah, it was a garage pull in the shape of a noose.
Okay. And the good thing about this is the way your teammates and the entire NASCAR family rallied around you, and you got a lot of love from a lot of people in the sport. That must make you feel good. Do you think this unfortunate incident, as crazy as it was from start to finish, helped your career as a race car driver or hurt your career as a race car driver?
Well, let's get it straight. This wasn't a use as publicity stunt on my end. I don't need all the fame and all the media hype to create my brand and create my image. People that know me, I'm 100% raw and real, and I just go out and give it my all on the racetrack, and I'm the human being that everybody else is off the racetrack. I put my pants on the same way. So to say this helped or hurt my career would make me guilty of trying to pull off a publicity stunt. So I'm not really sure your question trying to get there, but this is something that we've seen all on Monday, that we're all a family, that we can all come together through the troubling times to create unity in which this world needs, and a dire need right now to help our brothers and sisters to feel welcome and wanted. So the sport of NASCAR that I'm proud to be a part of has continued to push their efforts in showing diversity and inclusion, and they're not going to tolerate any of these hateful acts.
Yeah, it's intolerable, and no one's saying that you had anything to do with this. We're just talking about the PR aspect of it. And speaking of that, was there anything that you would do differently if you could rewind this on how you handled it or what you said? Or do you think you handled it the right way from start to finish?
Yeah, I think, there's some delivering or getting the facts delivered to me, the information delivered to me, after the garage was closed, maybe being a little bit more proactive in seeing it for myself in person to have a true understanding instead of hearing, from other words, get an image for myself. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have changed anything. NASCAR, I felt like did the right thing, in shape of the noose. It, in fact, was a noose. Everybody has seen the image now, so to say we would go back and do things differently, I don't think so. Maybe word things differently, yes, but I would launch an investigation. I would have NASCAR or follow NASCAR's judgment on it again.
Right, and I think the reason NASCAR brings the FBI in is because they don't want to be responsible for clearing this thing up themselves. They want to make sure it's officially done and executed at the highest levels of law enforcement, so there's no doubt about how the investigation unfolded. All right, Bubba Wallace, maybe I'll have to check him out up in New Hampshire when he comes up to my neck of the woods, but good luck at the next race, and we'll pull it for you.
All right, bro, I appreciate it. We'll see you out there.